Okay, fellow Schneider drivers. So, kind of an interesting day. So, as you know, yesterday I was helping a fellow Schneider driver with an overweight load. They moved some of the load into my trailer, and we were delivering to Home Depot. The driver arrived maybe 20 minutes before I did. We got separated, and he arrived about 20 minutes before I did. He had his original bills. I had a copy of the bills that I made. And he was actually exiting when I was entering, and I think this fried the brains of the Guard Shack employees, because I explained it 5-6 times. I gave him the bills, I gave him the bill of lading number, but the fact that he was leaving when I was entering, their circuits just like went dead. Like I said, I explained it. I almost got to where I was drawing a picture like of the trailers being, the freight being moved. I mean, it was some of these staff that work these Guard Shacks, they aren't, well, I'll just, you know what I'm saying. You've dealt with Guard Shack employees before. So anyway, after about a half hour of trying to explain it, I finally was like, you need to get a manager on the phone, and so they got a manager on the phone, and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll send somebody out. They'll check the load, make sure it's our stuff, and we'll put a seal on it. And I'm like, okay. So they sent a guy out. He checked the load. Yep, it's ours. He's like, we'll send somebody out in a couple of minutes with the seal and get you a spot. I'm like, okay. About another half hour passed, and I just walk up to the Guard Shack. I'm like, hey, I've been here for about an hour. I was told that somebody was going to put a seal, and this guy comes flying out of the Guard Shack, okay? Flying out of the Guard Shack. You don't have any bills. Where are your bills? You don't have any bills. Whoa, what are you doing here? You don't have any bills. You don't have no bills. I was like, and I should have known, because the guy was about 5'4", and both arms are just covered in sleeve tattoos, okay? So I was just like, whoa, dude. I was like, I tried to explain, and I had to explain it to him. I said, okay, well, we came in, I had my handbills, and the other driver was here right before me. I tried to explain it, and I'm like, I gave your guard my handbills, but see, the shift was changing. And when I showed up, the two trucks, one entering, one leaving, they fried their circuits, and all they wanted to go home. All she wanted to do was go home. So she just told me to stop over there, and the next shift will take care of it. So in the process, she left with my handbills. I told the little hot rod exactly what happened. I said, I even asked her to make a copy of the bills, and she refused. He's like, you're full of shit. You are full of shit. And he's like, okay. And when he told me, when he said I was full of shit, I took a step forward instinctively. Instinctively took a step forward. And when I did that, like, my kids flashed in my eyes. Like, you know how you have some say that when you have a near-death experience, your life flashes before your eyes? This was that sort of situation. I wasn't afraid for my life, far from it. But the action that I was about to take triggered something in my mind, and my kids flashed before my eyes, and in the thought of me having to make a phone call and telling my kids that I'd been fired, and my son's birthday's coming up. So it all flashed instantaneously, boom. And when that flashed, I just relaxed, because for a split second there, I was going to give this guy summer teeth. What's summer teeth? Okay, some are in your mouth, some are on the ground, some are in my fist. But it was a split second. My kids flashed, and then I was okay. Not only that, but my DBL was in my headset, and he was listening to the whole thing, and he was like, it was like having an angel on your shoulder, because he's like, calm down. He's like, you're just gonna leave. You're just gonna walk away. You're gonna leave. You're not gonna He's like talking to me. So my kids flash. I got him in my ear, and I was like, okay. So I was totally calm. But the little hot rod is still flexing, and you know, he knew enough not to get any closer to me, but he was still going on and on, going ape shit and talking crazy talk. But after my kids flashed and after I had my DBL in my ear, I was calm as a cucumber. So basically, after he fired his little hot rod head, I guess his manager got involved and basically told him that to accept the load. And I don't know. I mean, you know, little man syndrome. I think it's real, little man syndrome. You know, and I'm not, you know, not all little guys have this problem, but some of them do. They're you know, they're short in stature, or they're just little, and they don't want to be little. They don't want, it's their goal in life to prove to everyone that they aren't little, that they are number one, that they are tough. And it's, you know, he was short, he was a small guy, but then the covered in tattoos, that was another sign. You know, if you know, you get a couple tattoos, you know, maybe you get one to remind you of something that happened or something. But to get sleeves, unless you're like a lead guitarist in Guns N' Roses, or you're a lead guitarist in a band or something, you know, the sleeve tattoos for somebody that's working a guard shack at Home Depot tells me that this guy has a lot to prove to everybody. So it was the combination of the tattoos, the little, he was just, you know, and he knew that as a truck driver, I'm in a position that I'm limited in what I can do, because if I do anything, I'll get fired. And I don't know if this guy, I think he's a problem. I think he's an accident waiting to happen, because I'm a pretty calm guy. And most things, you know, you tell me I'm ugly or whatever, you tell me I'm stupid, whatever. But if you claim that I'm lying about something that just happened, and I actually looked around for cameras because I want, you know, but then, you know, it was silly. It was silly. It was really silly. I mean, it's, even if he did call me a liar to my face or anything like that, it's not worth losing my job, getting an assault charge, any of that. So my thought is that this guy has small man syndrome, and this is going to happen again. And it may happen to a truck driver that doesn't care about anything anymore, which there are a lot of them. You know, I have kids, and that's what flashed in my mind, my kids, and that I was going to have, and it was going to cause problems. But some guys, they don't have that, you know. They're out here, they don't have families, they don't have much. So if he did that to many drivers, they would have laid him out. But I'm glad I didn't. I handled it. I wouldn't have handled it any differently than I did. So, you know, I thank my DBL for being in my ear. But even if my DBL wasn't in my ear, that flash, you know, both my kids sitting together, you know, it just flashed, and I knew that that it wasn't the day. So, anyway, that was the exciting thing. I did get a little adrenaline rush, but it was only for a split second. Little man syndrome. It's real.